Hey, welcome to a new Project Kamp video. So we bought this piece of land and are prototyping a more sustainable way of living. Not sure how it's gonna go, but let's see. And in the previous update you've seen me showing some of the basic infrastructure currently being used. That's a poop hole. It's very basic. But today we're actually gonna add a piece of infrastructure because Mattia is dropping by with his beautiful yellow cubicle van. Yeah! So if you studied the original Project Kamp drawing well, you could see right there in the little corner is the Italian guy in his yellow van, which is this one right here in real life. Alright, hey Mattia.
Yo,
hey.
Hello Dave, what's happening?
So you've been living in this van for a while?
Yeah, this is, well, I call this home for the past 5 years. So about early 2016 I was I broke up actually with my ex-girlfriend, and then I thought, you know what, I might as well just try to live in a van and see what it's like. And since then I've been doing slow little improvements, month after month, week after week, and now, yeah, now it's been 5 years that I'm full-time, well, actually more on and off, living in this van. And yeah, I can just show you around if you want.
Because now you don't live in it anymore, now you have in Porto.
Yeah, so now we just arrived here with Kati, my wife. We just arrived in November, and we decided to spend winter in Porto because, well, it rains a lot here. Today doesn't look like, but it's very wet and it rains a lot and there's no electricity and we have a lot of things to do. So we decided to just go back to normal civilized life so that we can get more work done, more shit done.
Can we see the inside?
Yeah, man.
So now the inside is a bit empty because...
yeah, now it's really empty because all my stuff is in the apartment. But yeah, I can explain you how this works. So, yeah, welcome. So let's start from the most important part, which is the bed. And this is a foldable bed, and I think over the time to me that's the most smart way of utilizing space, because when you're not sleeping you just close it up here and then you have all this space that otherwise would be taken up by a bed, which you use only for 8 hours, and the rest of the time you really don't. Over there you have like my closet. You have a lot of some clothes, there are a few shelves, that's where we keep all the stuff. And over here is the kitchen area and sink. So here is where we cook a bit. Here normally is full of like spices and beans and whatever, like storage. Here is more storage, and here is one of the best. This made my life for a couple of months. I was just flying because this small thing just changed my complete van life, and it's basically a water pump, and you just press there and then you have like running water in your van, which is
from this bottle there.
From this big old wine bottle. This is a 25-liter jar where my friend Giulio stores the wine and sells his wine. And then, you know, this is maybe 30 years old, so it's really sturdy, really hard. And also I don't store water in plastic, so here is stored in glass, which I don't know, feels better for me. But mainly it's like this foot pump, which is, I don't know, I really enjoyed it at the time.
I'm looking forward to be excited about it here.
Yeah. So this van was a German post van, so it used to deliver packages across Berlin. And then here we have like this big space which is empty, which is very nice when you live in a small space. And also I should mention that for the past 2 years we've been living here in two, me and my wife Kati. So you really have to maximize space and how to use it as best.
Where do you sit?
So we have chairs and we have like a couple of pillows on the floor as well. Work from the floor or here. So here normally we have a chair and we just work from our laptop here. And or just outside. In summer we use the outside space. And here is the latest sort of more, again, space optimization where we put all the food and more, just like to store stuff, I guess. And here also, latest sort of geek out, the solar system. And we just want to be pro. And with this we can run our blender, so we can make juices. All our laptops, we have 2 laptops that we work remotely, so always on the computer, so 8 hours a day plugged in.
So why do you not have your panel on the roof?
Well, so we just got it last summer, and we were in Italy, so fucking hot. And we thought, if you want to have it on top, you need to have your van in the sun all the time. However, that means it's very hot, so we kind of wanted to be free from that. So we wanted to have the van in the shade and then the solar in the sun. So we thought of like getting this 10-15 meters of cable, so we can put this panel in the sun and keep the van in the shadow. And of course we're gonna build this frame and everything, but for now. And then everyone online, you stupid dickhead.
Boom. And what do you have under the hood?
Which one?
Under the hood, like the motor.
What do you mean? It's a Mercedes.
Okay. Usually people say it's like 2.5 diesel engine.
It's
a motor.
I don't give a fuck. It's just a motor that takes me around. I don't know what it is. I think it's 2 point something. But I'm really not a technical guy.
Mm.
Oh, this is a nice thing. But I don't know if it's vegan proof. When I found this van, I just also next day I encountered this splashed frog, and I kept it there ever since as a sort of a sign of good luck, death-proof gadget. Yeah.
The coaster.
Yeah, it's been there. It's been with me for the whole 5 years. So, thank you, buddy.
Did ever anything bad happen to you? Like maybe someone, well, you mentioned no one got stolen anything, but stuff breaking or people harassing you when you're sleeping in cities, or too cold, or stuff is frozen or wet, or.
Yeah, well, you have a lot of these experiences. Yeah, sometimes it's freaking cold, but you go through, and then it makes you stronger to the cold or something. And yeah, sometimes we had a police couple of times knocking in the Netherlands actually, saying that you couldn't sleep, and then just start again, and you stop in the next parking lot or the next forest or whatever. But no, never like moment that you're scared or anything. More like funny stories to tell. Yeah. And maybe it's more like elaborating on the reason why I started to live in a van, which for me is the most important thing. Which is back in 2016, I just graduated from university, and I just didn't want to get a normal job to work for this big advertising machine or this big sort of capitalistic machine where you put in time to make people buy more stuff or want more stuff. And so I had it very clear for myself that I wanted to work on more sustainable projects, or projects that do have another goal, another meaning. But then naturally these projects, they tend to be financially less remunerated, like having less budget, less money, less salaries. So for me it was very clear that I wanted to work on these projects, and consequentially it's also hard to live a classic normal lifestyle where you have a flat, where you have all these expenses, where you start the month with already like €1,000 to pay between insurances and flats and bills. So for me at that time, the solution to this, to be able to do this project, was to cut my costs as much as possible. So I just bought a van, started living in a van, and suddenly from 1 month to another I had an average, I had like €100 cost of my living, which was basically paying for insurance of a van, which is, kind of cheap. And that enabled me to start working on precious plastic and to keep on working on projects that are not necessarily commercially driven, because I had very little costs.
What are you making?
Definitely, I'm warming up.
like what?
We're just making a little path to go from the little camp to the kitchen. And we
Highway.
cut it. Yes. All right, hey, hello everyone. So last time Dave was showing you the path up until here, and today I'm gonna show you the last part that we just finished to cut, that will take us from the kitchen to the camp.
So just to recap, the original route we made in update 2 you can see here, and today we added this little piece right here in the blue line, so we don't have to take the big road anymore, so the new route is gonna be like this.
So you can walk up. This is the main road that you are most familiar with by now, I'm sure. Going up, you go to the camp, and you could go there fast with your car or van. But if you take this little sidewalk, you get onto one of the main fields that leads into the kitchen. One of the few trees. So, kitchen right there. Massive field. Lots of things that we can do there. And yeah, from here we just cut ourselves a little path so that we can get to our little base camp.
Exactly.
Pantry, kitchen. Storms everywhere. Go ahead. All right. You can really imagine in summer how this forest will be a nice refuge from the sun, because it's nice and cool.
Might still need to make a stairs here
Yes,
for the grandmas.
the grandma. And you know, the camp here is where we're gonna be creating the base camp with the vans and the containers very soon.
What you building?
A fire, or actually a wood drying machine.
Could we call it a campfire?
We can call it a campfire,
You
but I
get
think
it?
it's
Project Camp?
yeah, good joke, man. Camp Zero. But I think it's mainly just drying the wood because it's so wet. You can. It's so fucking.
Yeah, it's true, no? It's wet and rainy here.
My God, man! It's outrageous.
I wasn't lying.
It's outrageously wet. Oh my God. Yes, the day has come. Gonna leave behind my yellow love and make sure that Dave has a living room and can enjoy some extra space, and then later on, yeah, come back to.
So what's your way of transportation now? I have to drive you everywhere.
Yeah, basically I just call Uber Dave, and he just drives by, picks me up, gets my shit.
Alright.
Yeah, sad days.
Alright, so now there is an extra little kitchen on the camp where we can properly cook, store our spices, store our food. We have a bit more storage space, so it's actually really nice having this around. Yeah, that was it for this update. If you want to see more updates, make sure to go here. And if you want to see all the future updates that are yet to come, make sure to subscribe so you get notified when there is one. Well, I guess you know how subscribing works. And if you want to help us out and make sure we can continue development, make sure to visit support.projectkamp.com to see how you can help out. Thanks for watching and see you in the next update.